This is the theme for Brahms's First Symphony. A theme is the main idea of a piece of music. For example, when you hear this, you probably think of Star Wars, because that's the main theme for the series of Star Wars. This theme that we're playing is the main idea for Brahms's First Symphony. So it doesn't have all of the notes in the flash, but it does have that main idea. If you hear this, you'll think, oh, that's Brahms's First Symphony. Now, when we play this theme, we can divide it quite simply into 4 little sections. That's going to be the easiest way to practice it. So the first 2 sections, making up the first line, are almost identical. They're very, very similar. And throughout the song, you're going to see this idea of half notes, where there's a lot of slur 2s, there's a lot of notes, bowings that take up only 2 counts. So for those, you're going to mostly use up the entire bow. For example, when you start, you can use really long bows on those. So what I would do to practice this is first just start on your open D string and practice 2 count bows. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Just making sure that you're using your full bow, good sound, great tone, keeping the bow straight. A lot of times, if the bow pulls out like here, or when you come up, it will affect the sound negatively. So make sure that you have good tone on your open D, open G string. And then a couple other things that you'll notice are the dynamics. The dynamics are pretty big in making this one sound musical. First, we see a mezzo forte, so we're going to start medium. But then very shortly, it's going to crescendo. We're going to get louder to a forte. And then the end of this first phrase fades away on that 4th finger D. Now, speaking of that 4th finger D, you're really going to want to make sure that you get it in tune, and don't take the easy way out and just play open D. Definitely do the 4th finger. And what you can do to practice this, make sure that it's in tune, is do a tunnel. When you put that 4th finger, check your open D string. And when you do play this one, if you have that tunnel, so if all 4 fingers are on the G string, and they're not blocking the open D, so you can have all those fingers on the G string while your D string is still playing. When you do play that 4th finger, if it is in tune, you will see your D string ring as well. It will be vibrating because it's at the same frequency. If it's slightly out of tune, your 4th finger, you won't get that same effect. But if it's in tune, you'll hear that D string ringing. It's a really nice open sound, and that's how you'll know that your 4th finger is really well in tune. So here's a couple exercises that you can do to practice this one. First, getting the 4th finger in tune, you'll walk up on the G string. You walk up to the 4th finger, play the open D. And then once you're there, you can use this to practice your dynamics. You can do a swell where you're going to get louder. 1. And then you fade away, you get softer. Because that's what we're going to be doing in this piece. Whenever you see those hairpins, the crescendo and the diminuendo, you're going to get louder, and then you're going to fade away at the end of the phrase. So let's try this first section together slowly, and we'll make sure that we're doing full bows. We're going to do the crescendo and the diminuendo, and then we're going to check that 4th finger to make sure that it's in tune. So here's the very beginning. Make sure you start up bow, set your bow in the middle on the open G. 1, 2, 3. Here's the crescendo, and then we fade away. And you listen for that open D. If you weren't sure if it's in tune or not, check your open D. Too low? Good. All right. Next, let's try the second section, in which you'll notice at the pickup to measure 5, it's almost exactly the same thing. It's just a little bit different. Where on the 3rd measure, it's going to be measure 8. We go up to the F natural, so make sure that you keep that 2nd finger nice and low on the D string. And then we still have that same 4th finger that we want to get, and our same dynamics, our crescendo and diminuendo swell. So here is the second section, starting the pickup to measure 5 on that open G. Again, set your bow about here, because we just finished that long 4th finger D at the end of section 1. We're going to be closer to the tip, so when you practice this one, don't just start from the middle, because that's not where you're going to be when you're playing the song. So start your bow towards the tip on the open G, and we'll go very slow. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's take our third section here, the pickup to measure 9. We're going to start on our open G, and this time instead of doing those hairpins, a crescendo where we get louder and then a diminuendo where we fade away at the end of the phrase, we're just doing one big crescendo up to that top note A right before measure 13. And that A note, that fourth finger that we're going up to, that's the same trick that you can practice where you play with the open string to make sure that it's in tune. That's the same one that we did with our fourth finger on the G string, where we check with the open D. And if you do get that fourth finger in tune and your tunnel is not blocked, your A string will be ringing, and it's this really nice open sound that we get at the top where we're playing the loudest. And so when we play this, again, full bows, you want to have really smooth slurs and make sure that your F naturals are nice and low on the D string. So here is the third section. We'll play it slowly together, so make sure you're starting up bow on G, and we'll begin. 1, 2, 3. All right, and make sure you get that fourth finger. One thing that I do when I play that fourth finger is I keep my 3 fingers on the G string since we're already playing that C note, and I just add my pinky. Sometimes people will lift all their fingers and try and reset them on the D string. To me, that's too much. It might cause extra sounds that we don't want. So just keep your 3 fingers on the G and reach your pinky up on the D string for that A note, and make sure it rings with your open A. So loudest note to the top, and now from here, section 4, measure 13, we're just diminuendoing. We're getting softer and softer as we get to the end, down to that C note. So here is section 4, measure 13, starting forte on the 3rd finger on the D string, full bows, and then we're just going to get lighter and lighter as we approach the last note. Here we are, section 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Those are the 4 sections for Brahms' First Symphony Theme. So I would encourage you to go through and practice each section one at a time, very slowly, maybe separate bows if you need to, focusing on getting your notes in tune first, then getting really good sound, full bows. Make sure your 2nd fingers are nice and low on the D string, your 4th fingers are all ringing with those open strings. And then once you've practiced each section by itself and you feel very comfortable and confident putting them together, we will play through the whole thing up to tempo. Now this one is marked allegro, which is pretty fast. So we're going to be going about 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the speed that we'll be playing it. So make sure you practice slowly first, getting everything in tune, and then come back here and we will practice playing all the way through together. So here is First Symphony Theme by Brahms. We'll play it at that allegro speed. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much for playing and practicing with me. I hope this has been helpful for you. If you have any questions or if this has been helpful for you, please let me know in the comments. I will do my very best to get back to you if you have a question. For example, somebody asked if I could practice without vibrato because most students who are learning these pieces don't play with vibrato at that time, and so the sound won't necessarily match up if someone's practicing the video with vibrato, or they're playing without vibrato. So I've tried to make that change for this one. So anything that you can think of that would be helpful for you, or if there is anything that you've noticed, oh, this has really been helpful, I would appreciate that in the comments. So thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.